where else will you surround yourself with the coolest people in the coolest industry?
Honestly, it started as a summer job in high school that quickly turned into my passion.
I was fortunate to have a father that had already started a company. He invited me in. Work was fun. Technology was cool, and the rest is history.
I always knew I wanted to work in an industry that was evolving and growing, so AV was the perfect fit.
I think like many people, I got into AV by accident.
For me, getting into the AV industry was a natural combination of my love for music and my constant curiosity of knowing how things work.
The way I got involved in AV was actually by way of IT.
I officially got into AV about 2.5 years ago when I started volunteering at my church, actually.
I got into AV for the people. I had the opportunity to come here and meet some of the team and knew it was something I wanted to be a part of.
I got into the AV industry because I love technology and I love building, and it affords me an opportunity to do both.
My father was a guitar player and a huge fan of high-end audio, and we always had equipment lying around the house.
I was looking for a little bit of a career change. I had an audio engineering background, and I thought AV would be a perfect transition for me, and it turns out it was.
I think the thing that really drew me to the AV industry is just the ability to work with new technologies every day.
Like a lot of people, I just fell into this industry.
I got into this business mainly through a family and friend connection, a little bit of luck, but also because I really didn't want to sit behind a desk all day long.
I got into the AV industry looking for a way to blend my technical skills with a desire to be creative.
I was recruited into AV 3 years ago by AVI-SPL.
It started for me when I was really little. My parents had a stereo and my dad had a keyboard and a camera, and I just thought all of the knobs and buttons on everything was really intriguing and cool.
I was a media studies major in college, and I thought for sure when I graduated I'd be working on a film or television set, but of course it's easier said than done.
I got into the AV industry because I loved music and I loved everything about the music industry.
I always liked listening to music, always liked playing with the latest gadgets and reading up on them. When I graduated college, I didn't even know that there was really an industry devoted to it.
I got into AV while I was attending university. My parents wanted me to get a job to help pay my way through college.
Like many others, I was interested in technology from a very young age, and that continued throughout my life.
I was looking to get into the BIM field. I found a BIM job in the AV industry and I just fell in love with it.
So I went to an infocom and was like, what is all this stuff?
I got into the AV industry a lot like other people did, totally on a whim.
Well, I was always into music as a kid, and I got into gear, liking gear and how things work.
I've been in the AV industry pretty much my entire life. I got in watching my brother run the sound mixer at our church, and I did it growing up in middle school and high school, then in college.
How did I get into AV? Just like everybody else. I fell into it.
I originally started in AV selling residential home theater equipment at a local retail store. It's something that I took a quick interest in and became a little bit of a passion of mine.
I've always really been interested in technology, from sound systems to TVs to projectors to two-way radios.
What got me into AV is the same story that everybody tells. It was a complete and utter accident.
Since I was little, I've always had a passion for music and audio production.
I'm so glad I got into the AV industry. It's been quite the ride.
But it's been an awesome industry to be a part of.
What felt like the natural thing for me to do.